In this screencast, I'm going to show you how you can set up the menu structure on your website. Now, this is a really key part of any website, and it helps people to navigate through your site and find the things that they're looking for. So this is our Sellr demo store. It's designed to be sport cam, selling action cameras. And when you sign up to Sellr, you're going to see something like this on the navigation bar: home and items. And in fact, if you hover over items, it says items for sale. So by default, this is set up to automatically look at your categories and super categories and put them on the menu bar, and also have a home button on the left. So let's just take a look at that now. If I flip back to the control panel, go to manage items. I've already loaded some products on here. If I click on categories, though, this is set up just the same as when you sign up to Sellr, and you'll see it's got a super category called items and a category called items for sale. So firstly, you're probably not going to want to call it that, so I'm just going to change that at the moment. So if I change items to be cameras, and then items for sale, we could have action cameras. Click on Save Change. So to edit those, I'm just literally clicking on this kind of pencil icon here. So now we've got, this is much better. So now we've got cameras and action cameras. If I flip back to the website, it still says items. So I need to click on refresh or press F5 on a PC. And then you'll see, so now we've got home, cameras, action cameras. And of course, I don't just want to have one category. I might want loads of categories. I'll just create a new one here as well. New category in cameras, and I'll call this one accessories, and click on add category. So now we've got cameras, action cameras, and accessories, and there's nothing in accessories, so let's just put some items in there. If I just get these bottom ones here, bottom 5, and move selected items to cameras, accessories, save changes. There we go. So now if I refresh this again, now you see we've got home, then cameras. If I hover over cameras, we've got action cameras and accessories. If I click on action cameras, you'll see the action cameras. Obviously, there's some demo items in there too. But if I hover over and go to accessories as well, you'll see it shows some accessories. Now that's quite interesting actually. So just so you can see this, you see we've got a. This is an item we've been using to demonstrate our EPOS system actually, but we don't want that on this to be shown at the moment on the website. Certainly not for this demo. So to do that, you just go into the item manager and manage items, and this is the item here. And if I untick WS, that's website. So if I untick WS and click on Save Changes, refresh that page, you'll see that that item no longer appears. So now we've got home, cameras, action cameras, accessories. Now you'll notice there's an icon gone from there, and that's because you can only edit this menu bar on the home page. So I want to show you how you can do much more sort of granular editing of this. So if I click on home, now this is the icon we need. It looks like kind of like a family tree, and this is to edit the menu group. So if I click on that, it shows you how by default the menu is set up. We've got home, and then the next entry is auto cats. And what that means is it's just going to look at what you've got in your item manager in the category section, and it's going to dump that out onto the menu structure there. And it won't just be, there could be loads of items on there. If you had other super categories, it might be cameras, and then other things as well, computers, whatever it may be else that you're selling. And that would be automated. So you don't have to have it like that. And I'll go into more detail actually about how you can set it up individually later on. But let's just create the sort of common things that people do on websites. Let's have a Contact Us page. So on this menu group pop-up, if I click on Add New Menu Item, and then at the top I'm going to put Contact Us, this box is what's going to appear on the menu bar, and we want it to say Contact Us. And for this, I just want to create a new page actually. So I'm going to create New Page, and then at the bottom click on Add New. When you close this pop-up, the page will refresh and you'll see your changes made to the menu bar. So we see here now we've got home, cameras, Contact Us. But if I click on Contact Us, it will just take you to an empty page with nothing on it. And we want that to be a Contact Us page. So what I'm going to do is click on the Content Blocks button, which is this icon at the bottom on the left here. And then click on Main Section Blocks, this green icon here. And we want to add the contact form to it. So this is the bit here. If you just click on that, then when you close the pop-up, the page will refresh, and you can see immediately there's a contact us page, and that's entirely automated. One thing to point out is where you see things that say click to edit this text, that won't appear on the actual live website. That's just so you know where you can edit text. So for example, I can click on that and I can put enter your details below to send us a message. And don't forget to click on Save Changes. So we do that. So there we go. We've got a great looking contact us page there. Oops. So if I click on Home, then what if you wanted the menu to be a bit different? You might not want to just show the categories which are shown on there. For example, let's say you created a special section of a website for sale items, right? Items which are on sale. So to do that, you use what's called collections. So if I go back to the admin system, we go to Manage Items, and then this time you click on Collections. And you'll see by default we've got Base Collections and then Home Page underneath it. I want to add a new one called Sale Items. So let's just do new collection in Base Collections, and I will call it Sale Items. Now the thing about a collection is when you create products, you put them into categories. Okay, so categories contain your products, and one product will appear in one category. But collections let you put those products in multiple places. So you might have a collection called sale items and put loads of products in there. But you might have another collection called items under £40 or gifts for him, gifts for her. And you can put the same products in all those collections. So let's see how that works. So I've added this sale items collection. Now if I click on back, let's just put some of these things into the sale items collection. Let's have, I don't know, these two items here. And so you tick those using the checkbox and then add selected items to base collections sale items. Right, there we go. So I've added those. They'll still appear in the category, but if you now choose this select collection drop down, click on sale items, you'll see we've got two items in there. Let's add that to the website. So if I edit the menu structure here, now there's loads of different ways you might want to do this. Let's do a really simple way. If I click on add new menu item and type sale items, in fact, it doesn't have to be the same name, so I could put cheap items just to demonstrate this, and then that's a collection. So look down for collection, click the radio button on the left, and select the collection on the right, base collections, sale items, and then at the bottom click on add new. There we go. So now we've got home, and then AutoCATs, contact us, and cheap items. If I close that pop-up, you'll see the page will refresh. Then we've got cheap items, which is pointing to, if I click on it, the sale items collection that we created. That's interesting. It's only showing one product. Let's see why that is, because there were definitely two products in there. I see. So one's out of stock. So if I just change the stock level on that and click on Save Changes, this is all kind of useful things to see. So if I refresh that, you'll see the two items appear in there now. So we've got two items in the sale items collection. Now let's say you wanted to have a kind of more comprehensive drop down there. Let's say you wanted you had a lot of collections, or you just wanted to define it yourself. I need to click on the home link there to edit the menu. Click on this icon here. So let's add a new option. In fact, let's just call it bargains. And this time I'm just going to leave this as a label. A label will do absolutely nothing apart from show on the menu. And you'll see why I'm doing this in a minute, but we did that as label. If I just close this so you can see, you'll see we've now got bargains there. If I click on it, nothing happens because it's not linked to anything. If I edit the menu again, this time let's put a sub-menu underneath that. And to do that, click on bargains, which take you to the next level, add new menu item. In fact, you can have 3 levels with this. But so for this one, I'm going to put, this time I will call it sale items. And then choose that collection there. And the sale items collection, click on add new. So when that refreshes, you see now we've got cheap items there. Now we've got bargains with sale items underneath it. When I click on that, that again is going to take us to the sale items collection that we created earlier on. So you can see you can just create things pointing wherever you like. So that let's go back to the home page and click on that one there. Now the other thing is usually you have the contact us link, might be at the end, wouldn't you really? You wouldn't normally see it halfway through the kind of products and stuff. So you can order these just by using the green arrows here. So I'm going to move cheap items up one, bargains up one, and then close that pop-up and you'll see it moves into position. So there we go. Now we don't want that cheap items one there because I've replaced it with bargains. So to delete one, you simply click on the delete icon there. And that's not going to delete any products or anything like that. It's just deleting the item from the menu. So the products will still be there. So there we go. So we've got home, cameras, bargains, contact us. But let's say we didn't want to use auto categories. In fact, you might not be using categories on your site at all. You might just be using them for your management in the back end, and you might only be using collections on your site. So let's just have a look, get rid of those. So if I edit the menu there, and then we've got this auto cats one here. If I delete that, and then just to show you again, you'll see that's now gone. But of course now there's no way of navigating to those categories, but we can do it, we can just create our own menu items. So let's do some items, and we'll have this as a label, add new, and if I click on some items, let's create another label in here. Let's call this one electrical equipment. Oops. Electrical equipment, and again I'm just going to have that as a label, and if I click in there, add new item. This time let's have this cameras, and I'll point that to the category of action cameras. There we go. Click on add new. So again, when that refreshes, we've got some items, electrical equipment, and then cameras, which will then point to the action cameras category. So as you can see, you can create a completely different menu structure up here as to what is in your categories or collections. It's just you can do whatever you like up there. So let's take a look at some other interesting ways that you might want to use this. If I click on home, let's edit the menu again, because there are lots of options in here. If I click on add menu item, let's look at some of the others. We've done new page, that lets you just create a blank page. There's another one here for drop down. In fact, let's just put the auto categories back in again. And there's an interesting checkbox here you'll see, allow auto supercat links. If I click that and add new, oh, I didn't enter a name. You must enter a name. So it doesn't actually matter for this one. I'll just call it auto. This is the only one it doesn't matter for. And then click on add new, and that's because it's going to use the super category name as the name anyway. So here, this is what I just added: cameras, action cameras, and accessories. And that's a drop down. But if I edit that, this is the AutoCats one here. If I change that from drop down to panel, click on update, then you'll see when it refreshes, hover over cameras. This time it does a panel. These will stack up, so you can stack up the different options in there. So you can have, again, up to 3 levels in this, and it will do a subheading and then a stack underneath it. If I click on accessories, it will take you to the accessories and so forth. So let's have a look at something else we can do with this. Add new menu item. So we've done auto categories, that just puts everything up there. Super category will populate a drop down from a particular super category. So if I call this cameras and then click on super category there and choose cameras there again, click on add new. When I close that, we'll end up with another cameras item here. It doesn't have any drop down or anything like that, but when you click on it, it'll take you into the super category, so you can choose action cameras or accessories on the screen rather than through a drop down. If I go back and edit the menu again, so that's pointing directly to a super category. If I do super category auto cameras, and this time I'm going to allow auto supercat links, click on update. If I close that, we're going to end up with oh no, it's the same one again, but allow auto supercat links is where you can click on this actual menu item here and it will take you to that page that we went to just then. If you don't allow auto supercat links, then that won't be a link there. And so that's populating from that super category underneath. So again, you get the drop down with the categories on there as well. If I click on home, let's edit this menu here. So again, you can do the same thing with pointing directly to a category or a super collection or a super collection auto that just automatically populates the collections under a super collection. You can point directly to a product. For example, let's say we want to just point directly to a product. You just put the item code in there. Best item. And so we just item code product 2. When I close this, that'll refresh. You'll see best item. When I click on that, it's going to take us directly to the product, which is item 2. That's this one here. If I click on home to edit the menu again, if we edit this as well. So we've done item code. Home, that's self-explanatory. Other pages If you've created other pages, we've got here, for example, that I've created for Harry Potter books. Let's just create that there. You can link to any existing other pages that you've got. Books. Click on update there. When I close that, it's going to go to books. And when I click on it, it's going to take us to Harry Potter books, which are these ones here. Now, other pages can be seen using this icon here, the two pages overlapping. And when you click on that, it will show you all the other pages you've already created. And you can either create them in there, or you can create them as a new page using the menu system. So going back here, there's one other one at the bottom, which is external URL. Let's say, for example, you've got a blog, then you would enter blog at the top, and then the URL of your blog page here, for example. And then, you know, you want to think carefully about whether you want that to replace your website when they click on it, or if you want that to appear in an external window. If you replace your website with it, then on your blog you want to make sure there's a way of them getting back. Normally you want to keep people on your website as much as you can. So I'm going to choose that in an external window, click on update, close that pop-up window there. So now we've got blog, and when I click on that, in an external window it's going to show our blog. So that's opened up in a different tab actually on this browser. When I close that, then we'll be back here. So hopefully you can see that using this menu system, you can create all sorts of different types of menus. And there's not just the one at the top as well, actually. There's these menus down the bottom here. And in fact, if I edit this menu here, click on Add New Button, we can also link to things that we've created as well. We've got other pages there. Let's create, there's an About Us page there. We could have that. So there's not just the menu system at the top. Depending on how you've got your website set up, there might be loads of different menus you can choose from. There we are, About Us. And you only need to edit them, using this system, you only need to edit them on the home page, and that will be reflected throughout the site as well. That's why you click on the home to edit those. And so hopefully you can see, using this menu system, you can literally create any kind of navigation structure that you want for your website. And it doesn't have to be a direct reflection of how you've got the items set up in the back end and categories and collections, because you can create the menu however you like and then just link to them using the different menu options. So hopefully you can see that using this system, you can create all sorts of different menu systems for your website.